Welcome to Soul Over It, the podcast where science meets spirituality. Get ready to explore the hidden truths of health optimization, wellness, spirituality, and empowerment. We are your hosts, Taylor and Abby Scarpello. Let's dive in.
On today's episode, we discuss the feelings of being unfulfilled and the steps to take in order to find your purpose and direction. If you are feeling a little lost, directionless, or ready to ignite your flame, this episode is for you.
So, today, we are soul over just feeling unfulfilled in society. Now, I know this isn't like our other episodes where it's this big topic, but this is still valid.
Absolutely, especially in today's world, today's society, we are always looking towards some sort of external validation in order to be fulfilled internally.
Exactly. I feel like it's part of like being human that like you always look for, or even just how we grow up, it's having that external validation, looking up to others to
feel happy, to feel fulfilled, or to have that comfort. Exactly. Where I'm actually reading this book right now, and it's, what is it called? I believe it's Toxic Relationship Recovery. And it goes back to childhood, where in childhood, we learn all of those foundations that set us up for building relationships. And when we are children, we look up to our parents or maybe our peers or our caregivers for happiness or whatever that piece of validation is in order to make them happy.
But is it really making us happy in the end?
No. Because if you think about it, if you were someone that had a lot of pressure on you as a child where you had to get the A, or you had to come home with the 100 and the 98 on your spelling test wasn't good enough, you were always seeking that external validation from your parents that if I get an A or if I get 100, then my parents will love me. Then I am good enough. So that's really setting up yourself for an unsuccessful future.
Yeah, not feeling
good
confident
enough
in yourself and in your own abilities, and not feeling, I guess, like not really standing in your power, because it's like, am I going to make them happy? Am I going to do a good enough job?
Even though you tried your best.
Yeah.
And maybe that best isn't 100. It's only a 98 or a 97. But now you start to create these patterns. And then that's going to set you up for your teenhood, your adulthood, and so on.
Even when you become a parent.
Exactly. It's because you're creating these neural pathways within the brain that if you don't have that perfect whatever it is, you won't be enough. You won't be good enough. Therefore, you will constantly be seeking that external validation and that fulfillment within.
Yeah. And this goes so hand in hand with like relationships too.
Absolutely. Because if you are constantly trying to be perfect, you're going to continuously chase after that validation from someone else, where really it's internally, where you have to be happy with yourself.
Definitely.
So what does it feel like to you to feel unfulfilled?
It definitely feels like purposeless, because I think like growing up, our parents never pressured us to get the 100, to always have A's on our report card. It was like, hey, all you can do is just try your best. And whatever that is, that's great. And I'm so thankful for how they raised us, because if they were so hard on us to get the A, that would have not been good on my mental health.
No.
Because, like, I think we even saw it with, like, our classmates, where we had peers that were pressured to get the good grades. And I mean, I was on a field trip once, and one of my peers, and I was good friends with her, she was like, I have to, because where we went to school, we didn't have fun field trips. We had educational field trips, and we had to, like, take notes, and we had to fill out worksheets for whatever we had to do with it. And she had to take down every note. She was like, I have to get an A. I have to get an A. And I'm like, but what is that going to do?
She couldn't even enjoy the field trip.
Exactly.
And the time with her friends.
Exactly.
And these are things you always look forward to, where it's always something fun, because you're just getting out of that environment.
Yeah.
You get to wear, I wouldn't say regular clothes. You went to Catholic school, but you got to wear your gym uniform.
Yeah, and it was fun.
Instead of your plaid skirt.
Yeah, and we were going on the bus, and we were just seeing somewhere new. But
that pressure that I think either society also puts on you, or maybe that your school, that also puts a lot of pressure on you as well. Definitely. To seek outward.
Yeah. So I think for me, feeling what it feels like to be unfulfilled is definitely lost. Not having that purpose. And I've definitely struggled with this, and I think now I'm starting to feel fulfilled. Yeah. How about you?
I would say feeling unfulfilled brings up a lot of anger and uncertainty.
For sure. I'd say uncertainty. For sure.
Because you don't necessarily know the direction. And for me, I think we spoke about this in a previous episode, just feeling so ungrounded. As someone that is usually ungrounded, I'm always looking for the future, or looking towards the future, rather than reminding myself that I have to come back to the present. And I think because you can't control the future, and it's, I would say, maybe that fear of the unknown, that's where the anger starts to come and rise, because you can't control the future, and you have to just relinquish control over the unknown and just allow things to unfold. And in that uncomfortable time, as you're waiting for things to unfold, that's where I think the feeling of unfulfilled starts to creep in, because you're just waiting and you're in limbo, and you keep showing up, you're being consistent, but maybe you're not making money, or that thing you want hasn't come yet, or that big email that you're waiting for that'll lead to the next step hasn't come. And you keep showing up, and then you start to get those doubts, or those little nudges of, am I good enough? Am I worthy? When is it going to happen? And then that's where the anger starts to come in too. And then sometimes that'll lead into resentment and
comparison
as well. Because you just start to go in this spiral, and it's all because the emotions are stacked upon each other.
And the emotions are literally a spiral, because one just leads to another and to another. But it's so hard not to spiral, because
we're human.
Yeah, we're human. And it's like, I feel like so many people are also so negative. We're stuck in a negative world too, where it's like, it's so easy to just be like, oh, I'm worthless. Oh, I'm X, Y, and Z, and just go down the list. But it's like, no, you're not. You're not. And wherever you are on your journey, that's amazing, because that is your journey.
And we have to continue to stay in the lane and say that, oh, this is my journey. This is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And if it does make you happy, keep doing it. Keep showing up. And maybe if you do feel uninspired some days, take a break.
Yeah.
It's okay to take a break, because maybe in a week, a month, or even a year, that'll start to creep back in, and it will redirect you. But within that time of feeling uninspired or unmotivated, it'll allow you to find something new. And I think this also ties into boredom. Boredom creates creativity. It's the perfect place for you to be creative. Because when kids are bored, parents are like, just go find something to do.
Well, maybe not in today's world.
Not in today's world.
Because the screen time. But I'd say when we were kids, like, hey, Mom, I'm bored in the summer. It's like, go find something. Go play outside. Go play in the dirt. Go, I don't know.
Go play dress up.
Yeah.
And it forces a child to be creative, to go do something that sparks that flame within them. And that's a huge tip if you are someone that is feeling unfulfilled right now. That's something that you can do. Reflect and go back to childhood. What was it that you loved as a child? So what was it that you liked to do as a child that kind of led you to what you're doing today?
Oh, wow. So when I was a kid, so I loved baby dolls. I was very, I guess motherly in a sense.
Maternal?
Yeah, maternal when I was younger. I was always just gravitated towards the dolls and
I always a doctor.
A doctor. I'd always had these scrubs I would put on, and I loved just caretaking, I'd say, and just really being able to care for the baby, or I guess if I was being a doctor, the patient. And today, I still love kids. I'm not in the childcare field. However, I would love to. It'd be so cool to open a daycare. I thought that would be cool. But today, I am an integrated health practitioner that is caring for other people. That is in the healthcare field.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and even just as a healer, you're still bringing help and care to others as well.
Yeah,
it may not be in your traditional, let's say, Western medical profession, but you're still in that essence.
Yeah, it's still in that healing
world,
caring, just comforting. I guess space. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, how about you?
I would say when I was younger, I loved playing school, but I always had to be the teacher. And I wouldn't necessarily say I loved being the center of attention, but I loved just being the one in charge.
But also, I think that's that has to say you like having a voice.
Yes.
And educating.
Yeah. I like being the one that is speaking, that is in front of people, not necessarily telling them what to do, but showing them what to do. Where you can do this in order to do X, Y, and Z. So just being that voice and that advocate for people, but also educating them, showing them what it is that they can do in order to be better, to be healthier, or to just be that friend, to give advice. And I would say today, it has definitely led me to where I am today by educating people, by helping others, by being the leader, having a voice, whether it be in this podcast, previous podcast, and then also just creating, where we're creating businesses together. I created the skincare company that I had previously. So just creating things that help people. And growing up, I never necessarily knew what I wanted to do, but I always wanted to do something where I helped people and helped them look and feel good.
Yeah.
And I would say that's exactly what we're doing, definitely, along with the other ideas that we're working on, that it all ties into together.
Yeah. And I think by having both of us having these different aspects and bringing it together, it's different, but when you bring them together, it just completes it.
It completes it, and it's that marinade, and it meshes really well together. And when you're a child, and between the ages of 0 to 7, so you're in that theta brainwave state, and you're soaking up everything that you are really being exposed to. So when children are in that age range, they're in that pure essence of just pure creativity, and if you are someone that is looking for purpose, for direction, like I just said, go back to what you loved to do when you were a child. And maybe you love to play sports. And now today, maybe you're not necessarily the most athletic. However, maybe being a broadcaster or something in the sports industry will allow you just to find that purpose and really just find direction.
Yeah, exactly. It's always
so simple.
It is. It's so simple, but no one knows it. Because it's like, they think when you ask a little 5-year-old, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up, or what do you want to do? It's like, oh, they're only little, like, what do they know? But it's like, no, like,
children know.
Children know.
They're a lot smarter and wiser than we
give credit for.
Exactly.
So then, I would say, another question you can ask yourself if you're looking for fulfillment or purpose is, what is something that you would do for free that brings you joy, or you can do for the rest of your life?
And that's something that's typically the area that you should really just dive into, where I know for myself, I love helping people. And that's something that I know I would do I do it for free.
We're always giving advice.
Giving advice.
We, meet people. It's
where I have spent hours upon hours just going out of my way to help people, and at the end of the day, it is something that just brings me so much joy and fulfillment, and it gives you this dopamine rush because it's something that you're supposed to be doing, and it does. It just brings me so much happiness, and you just hope that the other people see it that way as well, where they do feel as grateful. And that's where I think that it does get me a little upset sometimes, because I'm always willing to go out of my way to help another, or maybe that's just I have to set more boundaries. Maybe I have to set more boundaries.
Maybe, I mean, it could be a little bold.
Maybe.
But, like, I mean, we always want to feel appreciated, you know?
Exactly.
Like, if we do give a little extra advice, of course we want to feel appreciated.
Or giving things for free. Yes. I mean, like, I'm also the type of person that will literally give you the shirt off of my back.
Yeah.
Where I've been in situations where it was not appreciated.
But that's a learning experience.
But that is a big learning experience. You know, I would say, like, my most recent situation where this happened, we were together. So I always carry a purse with me. And it's very heavy. It's very heavy. There's a lot of protection in it, and I don't mean...
Taylor, can you please explain?
Yes, I don't mean, like, pepper spray and, like, that type of protection.
Like,
I mean, like, crystals.
Yes, thank you.
Like, a lot of crystals. So, yes, that's why my purse is always very heavy.
She's got some big rocks in there.
I got big rocks. My purse is really just like your Mary Poppins bag. Whatever, you never know what situation you're going to be in, but I got it, don't worry. So we were out to dinner. It was me, Abby, our mom, and an acquaintance. We were all together, and I just knew this person needed some of the crystals that were in my bag. And this person was just telling us about the plants that were in their apartment, and when plants are not necessarily doing well, you could place crystals in the dirt, and the crystals will help bring them back to life. So I knew certain crystals in my purse needed to be united with the plants. So I gave a bunch of crystals to this person, and then there was also a few other crystals that I knew this person needed as well, and one of them was a rose quartz angel, and I think it was our grandma's. Mm-hmm. But this person I knew deep down this person needed it, and I did give them the crystals. However, after that situation, things didn't really... The ties were cut, exactly. The soul contract was ended. However, I know my crystals are in a safe place, And they're doing their work.
They're helping.
They're helping this person that needed them.
And it's like in situations like this, it's like, what's more important? Your mental health?
Oh, absolutely.
And those ties being cut and not having the crystals?
Yes.
Or having the crystal. But like getting it back.
My mental health.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And feeling fulfilled.
Exactly.
Because in the moment I did feel fulfilled.
You did.
I did. And I felt so happy.
Oh, that's really nice.
Same. So, what is something that you would do for free that brings you joy that you could do for the rest of your life?
I feel like there's a couple things. So I like definitely what we're doing now, because like it is like what we're doing now is so fun, and I love helping others and I love helping others heal and seeing
their potential.
Exactly, that's what it is.
And I think as a healer, that's one thing that we don't necessarily see. We don't see the red flags.
No.
That's the problem. We don't see the red flags because we see the potential.
And that's where I was
everyone.
And that is where I was stuck.
Same.
In my past relationship. It's because I saw so much potential in this person and in what we could have been. But it was almost like blinding, the potential, and I wasn't seeing what was in front of me.
Me too.
Because I was in love with, the what if? The I know you can do this.
I know you can get to this point.
Exactly.
And I'm here to help you to that point.
I will literally guide you and help you.
And you did.
I did.
And I was in the same situation.
I know. And it's like, if you only saw it in yourself. And I wish he did.
Yeah.
Anyways, I love helping others. I love helping others, like, see the potential. But I also... So I love to bake, and a couple of things about baking that I love is, like, one, I just love creating. I love getting in that zone of, like, creativity and just making something so yummy. But what I also love about baking is putting a smile on someone's face. Like, when they eat it and they get that, like, that like...
Ooh, it's so
like,
good.
Yum. I'm like, oh, I love that. Because it's, like, comforting. At least when I eat, like, goodies, I get, like, so warm and fuzzy inside because it's so good. And I love, like, making people happy. Like, I love making people happy, but I'm not necessarily, like, a people pleaser. Because at the end of the day, like... Yeah.
It's different.
It's different.
Where
like, I like putting a smile on people's face.
And I can relate to that with skincare and helping people look good, because I know what it's like to wake up in the morning having such bad acne and looking at yourself and just feeling awful, or just starting to hysterical cry. So you could just imagine what other people experience too, where with in the past, when people would look in the mirror, they would wake up happy and feel good. So I can relate to that.
Yeah. It makes you feel good.
It does.
So what is something you could do for free that brings you joy?
Say help people become that best version of themselves. Whether it be just helping them heal trauma, give advice for them, make something for them, but not in that people pleaser way.
No. I think there's a line that can teeter very easily.
I like being that leader, that role where people can look up to.
Definitely.
For advice, for education, for help.
Yeah.
And I feel that meditating is something that really allowed me to get to that point where the more you continuously work on yourself and your own trauma, clear the baggage that you've been carrying, it then allows others to do the same.
Exactly. And it's not easy.
No.
That's not easy, just sitting with yourself.
No.
But look how far
you have come.
Yeah.
And you always want to start sooner rather than later. Before the universe says, hold up, let's put the brakes on, and now it's time to actually sit with yourself. Where if you are starting to get those little hits or those nudges or just those sparks of inspiration, start to take action before it's too late, where the universe really does put those stops on.
Yeah.
Whether
it forces you to
look and go within, whether that be through illness, through injury, through loss, or some other big event or big change. And even journaling, I think, is a great way to do some self-reflection.
I love journaling, but I've definitely gotten away from it. I think I tend to use it when I really need it. I don't necessarily journal every day, but I was for a while. I was journaling every day because I was trying to heal from a breakup, and it was just one of those ways of it was like an outlet for me to just get out whatever I need to get out, but also just start my day with certain things and just allow me
open mind.
Yeah, with an open mind and a clear mind too.
And something that I recently started again, where I used to do gratitude journals, but this time my journaling is different. It's more of just journal dumping, where as soon as you wake up, grab a piece of paper and you just free write. Whether it be things that you're happy about, you're mad about, just getting those emotions and feelings off of your chest. That way it's a way of release so that you're no longer carrying it into the day.
Yeah, I think I need to start doing that.
Yeah. And then when you do that first thing in the morning, again, you're still in that theta brainwave state, so your subconscious is open and you're able to release whatever is really stored deep down in the brain and in the subconscious.
Makes sense. Because you always have those thoughts for when you first wake up.
Yep. Where it's like, oh, I'm still angry about some email that you got. Or
why did I have that dream? Or, yeah. You're always waking up with thoughts. So I think it is good to just get them out. I think another tip, I guess, if you're just trying to feel more fulfilled, is definitely get off social media, because that's a form of validation in a way. You're constantly looking at other people and seeing where they are or what they're doing.
Or if you post a picture, how many likes did I get? How many people viewed my video or my picture? Did so-and-so even like my picture? Oh my god, they saw it, but they didn't like it.
Yeah, and I did this a couple years ago. I turned off my Instagram notifications because every time someone likes your picture, you get a notification. And it can really damage your mental health, because it's like, oh, who liked it? How many people liked it?
Or you're constantly waiting for that one person
to like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes they never do.
Yeah. And then that'll send you in a spiral. So head that off, turn your notifications off.
Or take a step back from social media. Give yourself a break.
Yeah, I think that's important too.
And even just taking a break from, I don't want to say everything, but just taking a break, period.
Yeah, if you're maybe from a routine in a way, because say you get up, you do your morning routine, you go to work, you come home, you make dinner, you get ready for bed and whatever, and every day's the same, but that can just feel like
you're on autopilot.
Yeah.
And you're operating from a place that's not genuine.
Yeah.
Where you're operating in a place out of love. Where it's not through love, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so just changing up your routine maybe.
And then it's okay to take time off.
Definitely.
Just to take time off, to go within. And when you do so, yes, you may feel set back, but really you're just taking a step back in order to take 10 steps forward.
That's sometimes just necessary.
And it can seem scary.
Mm-hmm.
It can seem fearful. It's unknown. It's uncomfortable. But growth doesn't happen in our comfort zones.
Exactly. Like they say, you have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable.
You do.
Yeah. And then I would say ask yourself if you have an outlet, or try to find one or discover what excites you, what brings you joy, to bring that spark of inspiration back.
And go back to childhood.
Exactly.
What were the things that you did during childhood, whether it be certain sports you played, different classes you used to go to? Did you take swimming classes? Did you play baseball? Did you dance? Or maybe if you are in your late 20s or 30s, maybe go find an adult dance class. And that's something that we actually did last year.
Yeah.
Me, Abby, and our mom, we took tap dancing classes, and it was so much fun. We had to be in a recital. We were so nervous, but we crushed it.
I was in my element, let me say. And okay, like, I don't love being on stage in front of a bunch of people. I don't like being center of attention, but I love to dance, and I was in my element, so I was having so much fun.
And then to do it with your sister and your mom,
oh my god,
so much fun.
And as a dancer, it's never too late to start. Some say this will even be late. I started ballroom dancing when I was 14. Like, to some people, that's late. Like, kids start when they're very young. But I started when I was 14, and guess what? I didn't care because I loved it. I had so much fun. So even if you're 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s,
just even 70-year-olds that are just starting.
Yes, and I love to see it because it's making them happy.
So you're never too late, because there's always a reason and a purpose that you are starting when you are. Mm-hmm. And let's say, with that being said, the last tip that we have for you is, if you are feeling unfulfilled, change your state of being, whether it be your location, your mood, your career. Change is something that will allow you to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And it's maybe a little scary, but you will grow
from that.
Yeah.
And you'll also learn something about yourself in a great way, and discover something new that you may love.
It'll be fun.
It'll open up new doors,
opportunities.
And remember, it's always about the journey that continues to unfold rather than the destination. And I know it could be so hard or challenging to get caught up in, I have to get from A to Z. But no, in order to get there, you gotta go to B, C, D, E, then the rest of the alphabet to get there. So it's all about those little milestones rather than just that big ending.
Yeah, and enjoy it. Give yourself the credit, because you're doing it. Like, you're one step closer. But enjoy the journey, because it's worth it and it's fun.
And you got this.
So, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Soul Over It. We are your hosts, Taylor and Abby Scarpello. Join us weekly every Thursday for a dose of inspiration, empowerment, biohacking tips, and some exercise for the soul, right here on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. And if you are listening in on Apple, don't forget to leave us a review.